Hi. Welcome to PH Red TV. In this video we'll share to you the list of 10 poorest nations in the Europe. But before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell icon to keep you updated on my future uploads. Without much farther ado, let's begin with our topic. More than 731 million people living in 44 different countries are part of the economy of Europe. Though the wealth of the European nations vary widely, even the poorest countries of Europe are well above the poorest countries of the world. The poorest countries of Europe are usually those that were severely affected by the downfall of the Soviet Union. While most of the countries of Europe are very well developed and have GDP per capita higher than the world average, a few nations still need to perform exceedingly well to catch up these European leaders. Here, we present some of the poorest countries in Europe based on their latest GDP per capita and purchasing power parity. Number 10. Bulgaria. Bulgaria is the 10th poorest country in Europe. After losing its primary market, the Soviet market, in the 1990s, the attempt to establish a democratic government and a free market economy further destabilized Bulgaria's economy. After years of financial growth, Bulgaria's economy was taken down again by the 2008 financial crisis. Bulgaria is the poorest country in the European Union, with more than 41% of Bulgarians at risk of falling into poverty and almost 10% of Bulgarians being extremely poor. Number 9. Belarus. Like other former Soviet republics, Belarus faced economic trouble following the disintegration of the USSR. In the years before, Belarus had a strong economy and one of the highest living standards among Soviet republics. During the following years, Belarus faced economic hardship until 1996, when the economy began to recover. Between 2006 and 2011, when many countries in Europe felt the effects of the recession, Belarus's expenditures among its bottom 40% of people increased. Number 8. Montenegro. Montenegro's economy is small and relies upon energy industries. Urban expansion and deforestation have eroded the country's natural resources. Additionally, gender and age discrimination cause gaps in income, particularly for women. Internally displaced persons and refugees comprise about 50,000 of the population. They are among the poorest in the country, with a poverty rate that is roughly 6 times higher than the average national poverty. Number 7. Serbia. At the beginning of the 2000s, Serbia experienced 8 years of economic growth until the global recession in 2008. Serbia's economy entered a recession in 2009, causing a negative growth rate of -3% in 2009 and -1.5% in 2012. That caused the country's public debt to double to 63.8% of its GDP. About 25% of Serbians are impoverished. Natural disasters, such as floods and earthquakes, have also significantly slowed down any country's economic progress. Number 6. North Macedonia. North Macedonia is the 6th poorest country in Europe. After gaining its independence in 1991, Macedonia went under dramatic economic change and has gradually improved its economy. Trade accounts for about 90% of the country's GDP. Despite the policies successfully implemented by the government, North Macedonia still has a high unemployment rate of about 16.6%. At its highest, the unemployment rate was 38.7%. Number 5. Bosnia and Herzegovina. The largest cause of poverty in Bosnia is its legacy of war. Before the war and genocide, Bosnia was classified as a middle-income country, and after the conflict between 1992 to 1995, the country has not bounced back after over 20 years. Additionally, working-age men were the largest group to perish during the war, causing 1 in 4 households to be headed by women. This causes families to fall into poverty because women are a smaller percentage of workforce and often get paid less. Number 4. Albania. After the USSR's disintegration in the 1990s, Albania shifted from a socialist economy to a capitalist market economy. Although it is the 4th poorest country in Europe, its economy is continually improving due largely to its rich natural resources such as oil, natural gas, and minerals, including iron, coal, and limestone. Number 3. Kosovo. Kosovo is a partially recognized state that declared itself independent from Serbia in 2008. About 30% of Kosovo's population falls below the poverty, meaning that about 550,000 people live in poverty. Additionally, Kosovo has an extremely high unemployment rate of 34.8% as of 2016, with a majority of families earning less than €500 per month. Number 2. Ukraine. Ukraine is the second poorest country in Europe. Ukraine had the second largest economy in the USSR. However, after its collapse, Ukraine had difficulty transitioning into a market economy, sending much of the population into poverty. Some of Ukraine's continuing issues contributing to its poverty are government corruption, Russian aggression, specifically Russia's illegal seizure of Crimea in 2014, and weak infrastructure. Number 1. Moldova. Moldova is the poorest country in Europe. Part of the USSR, Moldova faced political instability, economic decline, trade obstacles, and other hardships following the Soviet Union's collapse in 1991. Factors contributing to poverty include lack of large-scale industrialization, food insecurity, economic collapse during the transition into a market economy, and errors in social policy, among other things. Despite being the poorest country in Europe, Moldova made recent progress, with the percentage of the population living below the national poverty line decreasing from 30.2% to 9.6% between 2006 and 2015. Economic prosperity in Europe, however, varies significantly between countries. Those were severely affected by the Soviet Union's downfall tend to be poorest today. Those are our 10 poorest countries in Europe in 2020, based on the latest per capita GDP and purchasing power parity. Thank you for tuning in. See you again soon here at PH Red TV.